there is a requirement, I would say, that goes beyond the superficial these days. We're living in a virtual reality. We're living in virtual insanity, and we're portraying these images of ourselves that are fake, and people are pretending not to have any problems, and like they're not affected, and like everybody seems so satisfied and so happy and so normal. And I feel crazy because I want to tell the truth, and I want to speak out truthfully and honestly about my experiences. I feel crazy. It makes me feel 5150, kind of wobbly, because the world is so against the truth, and it seems like the world is against the truth, and that's all I'm about, is the truth. So I feel like it's me against the world, and my truth is really esoteric, and it might be surprising to some people, or it might be annoying for some people, or some people might feel degraded by it, or they might feel insulted by my truth. So there's all this stuff that I'm dealing with, and at the same time, all I can think of is we have to get our hands dirty. We have to dig in. We have to sink our teeth in, because we have the social media platform to do it. We the people. Forget about the commercials. Forget about the official narratives of things. Forget about what we're encouraged to say and how we are encouraged to behave. Because all of that is superficial. We're discouraged from talking about the really important things, and the things that are really true, and the things that we really need to aspire to become aware of perpetually every day in our lives. And I invite you to challenge yourself to look for those things online. I post, if you want a place to start, I post a lot of things in my feed, not as much as I used to, because I don't think people really watched any of the things that I posted. They may have, I may have just not been able to see if they did or not. But if you go back some time in my Facebook feed, you're going to see that I post a lot of things that are provocative, and I highly advise everyone, while the platform is still as liberal and as free as it is, to really do some investigating and dig in, and just allow yourself to change. Allow yourself to be upgraded into the truth, because the truth will set you free, and the truth does set you free. And when you're set free, you do feel like a crazy person. I feel like a crazy person. A lot of the things that I want to say, that I hold myself back from saying, but that I hope I can say someday, because the word is born, and the word changes you. It changes you when you're hearing things, especially very hidden, secretive things that you didn't know were happening, or that you didn't know was a reality. Those hidden truths are treasures. They're precious. It's a precious thing, and it changes you. So I feel very driven to speak the truth as much as possible, regardless of how I'm perceived or anything like that, because I'm getting just past the point of no return, where I do feel and sound maybe crazy or like off or something, but I want to speak plainly and clearly. So I like it. I like the fact that there's some kind of danger involved in my communication or in my conversation. I like that element, because that's what we have to do in these days. We cannot continue on the way we've been, because we're lying to ourselves, and we're hiding from things that need to be brought out and need to be discussed. We're afraid to discuss the truth. We're afraid to discuss the true reality and the true nature of our identity, who we are, why we're here, etc. And that's playing to our disadvantage as a species. That's working against us not being able to face completely in the full light of day the glory and the majesty of who we are and of what God is. And you know, undoing all of the programming and all of the official narrative that communicates a different message to us, that's always putting us down and always telling us there's something wrong with us, and always telling us that we're not good enough, and just constantly putting pressure on us to change and to be something else and to be somebody else and to be different, and, you know, encouraging us to be deceptive and be dishonest human beings, and even to be indecent. And a lot of people are struggling with their decency these days. I'm sure a lot of people are becoming less decent, you know, because our decency is a target of their cultural Marxism. And you are a target of their cultural Marxism. I am a target. I'm a decent woman, you know, I'm a decent, upstanding, honest human being, and I'm a target. And all of us people who are normal are a target of their campaigns to destroy normal. They want to wreck normal and queer it. And that's what the word queer means. It means to distort something that's normal. You know, it was always a fantasy of gay men to like have sex with straight men. You know, that was always the fantasy back in Gen X's days. You know, that was like as far as it went, you know, was that a gay man would try to turn out a straight man. But they didn't usually have a lot of success anyway, because that's just, you know, something, I think, you know, there's some kind of trauma in the background of those gay men that even make them want to go that way, because it's just not normal. That's just not a thing that is going to perpetuate the species, and it's not going to bring about full spiritual completion, you know, to people of the same gender together without the opposite gender. That's not going to bring about completion. Completion is the two of them together, the two genders together as a whole. And that's a fact, you know. And so I'm going off on the transgender tangent again, but I was just thinking of how transgenderism is a response to that fact that homosexuality does not bring about satisfaction. It doesn't bring about completion. You can't get the whole, you can't get your itch scratched fully, you know, as a human being if you're in a homosexual relationship. So unless you have a very active social life and you have your needs and family life and you get your needs met other ways, that's fine. But I think as far as a relationship is concerned, there are levels of heights of magnificence and brilliance and radiance that you can't reach in a homosexual relationship. It's off limits. You can only get there through a heterosexual relationship. So transgendering is kind of an answer to that problem, because most transgender people are not gay. They're not homosexual. They usually are attracted to the opposite gender. So you find, you know, two transgender people being together and they admire each other that much. I mean, that just sounds so crazy to me. Like if I wanted to change my gender and I became a man, but I was attracted to this man who wants to become a woman. I mean, it's just so unnecessary. It just seems like so much nonsense to me. And I don't want to go off on a transgender tangent again. This is really just my warning you that I'm going to be sounding crazy. A lot of the things that I say are going to sound off cuff, and I think I like it. I think I like sounding like that. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm going to be offended by any responses, or you know, or that I feel some type of way or feel bad. I don't feel bad. I don't feel no type of way. Everything that I say is truth, and I'll say as much truth as I possibly can. So stay tuned.